All right, we are recording Empowered to Lead. Welcome. We're so excited to be on this call with you today. We have some dynamic people to share with you. Before we jump into it, a couple announcements. You guys have 22 days until the Crystal Manager deadline. So mark your calendars, 22 days, you guys can do it. All right, let's see hands. Who's running for it? Awesome. Okay, you guys, you got this. All right, 22 days. And then I know the announcement you all are actually excited about is that tomorrow the chocolate coconut almond dairy-free bar comes back into stock. So get on. Yes, we're all super excited. So so be sure to get in your back office and put that back on your auto ship. I accidentally took it off and I couldn't put it back on, and my life felt it was hard. It was a rough day. So a couple pieces of recognition before we get into our call. I don't think we ever officially congratulated Amber O'Hara for hitting Crystal Director. Awesome job, Amber. And then Miss Carity Maurer for hitting the 5-cycle bonus for the second time. Girl, you're rocking it. I love it. So just wanted to give you all a little bit of a shout out there. And then I'm going to make sure everyone's muted here real quick before we jump in. All right, everyone is muted, and you guys can unmute yourselves when I call you in. So you guys, today we have Start panel for you, and I can't even tell you how excited. I'm so excited I wear my Start shirt like a boss. The Start group is 18 to 35-year-olds who are associates with Isagenix, and it is an amazing dynamic group of people. The vision behind Start, if you don't know, you can go to startyourlife.com and get all of this, but the vision behind Start is to ignite young people to own their lives physically and financially, and through contribution, create freedom and a lasting legacy. Now that is an energy that you guys want on your team. Okay, so if you have any hesitation about reaching out to people in the Start group, or you're in Start and you're not quite sure how to capitalize on that, we have 2 amazing dynamic panelists that are going to share some tips and tricks with you and their experiences. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce them. But first, I want to let you guys know that we are going to do a little bonus segment at the very end, because they have some experience with Team Isagenix and in the fitness industry, and we know that those are a lot of questions you guys get as well. So they're going to be able to, each of them is going to answer a question about that experience specifically. So jam-packed, a lot of amazing information tonight. So first, I want to introduce Sanj, and Sanj, I'm gonna give it my best attempt. Sanj's last name is Thangaraja.
Sure.
Sure? How do you pronounce it, Sanj?
Thangaraja.
Thangaraja?
So, yeah, you were very close.
Okay, all right. I want to give it my best effort.
Yeah, I never get offended when people say my name wrong, so don't worry. Yeah.
I appreciate you. All right, you guys, Sanj, he is currently out of San Diego, California, and he's married to his beautiful wife, Chelsea. If you guys are not friends with them on Facebook or following them, just go do yourself a favor. Go follow their family. 2 beautiful girls, Amber and Blakely. And previously, Sanj was a small business owner and entrepreneur out of Canada. Mm-hmm. And they relocated to San Diego because, for obvious reasons. Nothing against Canada. Sorry, guys. I love you. Love you, Canadians. But he has been with Isagenix for 3.5 years now. He's a 2-star Golden Circle. He is a part of Team Isagenix and even featured on Start Magazine. You guys, that's a big deal. Okay, he's going to bring so much to this call. And then our second panelist is Miss Lauren Sims. So excited to have you here, Lauren. She is out of Denver, Colorado, and she's a former clinical nutritionist, but she retired to be able to work her Isagenix business full-time. And since starting Isagenix in 2013, you guys, she's received so many top honors and awards, I couldn't even write them all down. But more recently, last year, 2 times Millionaire in Action, Start 1000, a Start Ambassador, 2016 President's Quest winner. She's a 5-star Golden Circle, a 6-star Crystal Executive. So you guys, if I said anything there that you're not quite sure, like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? Like, that sounds really cool. They sound like they're big deals. They are. You can go to startyourlife.com, go to isagenixbusiness.com, and you can really research what this is. But these are amazing accolades, you guys. So we're so, so blessed that they would give us their time to be on this call tonight. So real quick, we're going to do this like Q&A style. We got some really great feedback in our business group when I asked, hey, if you could ask 2 Start Ambassadors, Start 1000, Team Isagenix, like if you could ask these Start people anything, what would you want to know? And we got some great questions. So I actually put it back on my leaders and said, hey, I want you to come on the call and I want you to ask these people yourselves. so that you can get that connection with them and really start to build that. And then Sanj and Lauren can get to know our team a little bit better too. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So the first question is gonna be for both Lauren and Sanj, but Sanj will have you take the question first. And it's gonna be asked by our very own Julie Moretus. So Julie, can you hop on and go ahead and fire away with your question?
Thanks, Rachel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. I wish you could see me. So again, not without technical difficulties. I don't know why you can't see me, but anyways, thanks for putting this together, and thank you, Sanj and Lauren, for fielding these questions for us. So my name's Julie Moretus. I live in Michigan, and I have 3 daughters. My oldest is 18, and she's a freshman at Michigan State University. Go Green. Anyway, I just turned 50, so I basically could probably be a mother to most of the START group. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't know is there was a group just for me called Primetime, I guess. That's the category I fit in. So, thinking about my daughter, Jillian, because I'm certainly super excited for her to, get into this business herself after she finds her way through college. And so, I always think about effective ways to be able to connect not only with her, but with her friends. And, she's just 18, so she's just at the beginning stages of the START group. So my question would be, what are some effective ways that I can connect with the START group? I mean, my enrollments thus far, 4 years in, have been basically my age group, maybe a little younger, a little older, but, right around that age. So how can I connect with the START group, especially someone like me in the Primetime group? Specifically, what makes starters tick? Like, what makes you tick? How can I connect with you? And, how can I add value to your life, the people in START group? How can I add value? What makes you tick? What can I do to connect with your demographic?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Julie. Most young people right now, as most of you on the call know, that, what they desire most is, having freedom, having freedom to do the things that they love, these young kids these days, they don't want to be bound to a desk. They don't want to be in a cubicle. They want to be out. They want to be exploring. They want to be learning. And technology is changing the way they think also. And, what they're lacking, Julie, is a vehicle, right? They are lacking a vehicle to take them from where they are and where they want to go. And we have that as a gift through Isagenix. So, it's going to come down to really asking a lot of questions, really getting deep with them, what they really like to do. Most of the kids that are going through school right now, looking ahead, they might not necessarily want to be in the field that they're studying in. Maybe they want to travel. Maybe they want to go work with animals, or whatever it is. It's really asking them a lot of questions about what excites them. What excites them. What makes them tick, and really turning around and telling some stories that are happening right now within our Isagenix community. I mean, there's a lot of young people within the START group creating extraordinary lives. I mean, if you can go to startyourlife.com and watch some of those stories and get to know some of these young people. And it's easy, Julie, to connect with them on Facebook, right? If you send them a message saying you're part of Isagenix, I really like your story. These people will jump on the call with you. They'll share their story. They'll do a 3-way call for you. So it's an easier way to get to know the stories yourself. And while you're doing that, when you're out and about meeting, maybe you might be even, meeting a lot of your daughter's friends, right? They're all in school. And when you ask them a lot of questions about, hey, what really excites them? What do you really want to be? Chances are they'll probably say something, that aligns with what they're going to school for. But then you can ask them a deep question. Okay, but if you had a choice to do something else, or maybe, if you could think outside the box a little bit, and let's say you had, the magic wand question, right? Give them the magic wand question. David Wood teaches us. So if you had, time and money freedom, right? If time and money was no consequences to you, what would you do with your life? You know, where would you wake up? How would you spend your days? When you ask them that question, chances are they're probably going to tell you something that they're going to start dreaming now. They're just going to start making up stuff they never thought before, and it's going to make them feel really good. That's when you can turn around and say, hey, you know, if I can show you a way where you could work with a community of young, driven, like-minded people, of course, getting healthier is a big part of what we do. But, you know, on top of getting healthier, being able to, work towards having that freedom, would you be open, right? So, you know, it's going to come down to really asking them a lot of questions about what makes them tick, what excites them. And maybe it's something that you can help them with through Isagenix, one of the Isagenix solution, right? It could be one of the health solutions. You could start with one of the health solutions. I mean, a lot of kids nowadays, as you know, especially college kids, their diets are terrible. I mean, you know, it's so sad. They don't have access to good nutrition. They don't have access to good food. I mean, you know, I didn't go to college in the United States. So I know the culture, you know, it's a very unhealthy culture, that time period of 4 years they go to college, right? And a lot of them come out and their momentum is downward for the rest of their lives. Unless they intentionally stop that momentum and create new habits, get around the right people, you know, really motivated to make a change. So they got their work cut out for them. So we have something we can offer them. We have such phenomenal solution. You know, you could start with the health solution, but also the solution to be a part of this amazing group and create freedom for yourself over time. People are doing it. You know, young kids are doing it. There's so many stories. So we don't need faith. We just need to take action. It works. It's real, right? I hope that answers your question a little bit, Julie. Does that kind of hit the spot?
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I just, you know, is there a video? Are you using the Start Your Life video typically for the first connection? Is that still the video you're using?
Oh, absolutely. I always use the Start Your Life website. There's nothing else that I use. That's the best tool. Always there's enough stories that Isagenix has put together on there, along with videos, visuals, stories. I mean, if they will relate to somebody in that website. So, you know, you have to just create value before you send it and just have them take a look and, you know, follow up, see what they feel, see what they think. Maybe they saw something they like, and then you can follow up from there. But yeah, definitely use startyourlife.com. There's enough videos and information in there on that one URL.
That's awesome, Sanj. Thank you so much. Lauren, did you want to add anything to that?
Sure. Sanj, it's fun to meet you. When I saw the flyer, I was like, how have we never met? I don't think before. But Rach, thanks for the beautiful introductions and just having us on here. I mean, what a treat and what an honor, and to see all of your faces. Sanj gave great information. The first thing I'd love to just say is that I truly believe all people are people, you know, and whether we're women, we're men, we're young, you're old, like people get intimidated all the time. You know, one of the questions I always get is like, how do I talk to a nutritionist, or how do I talk to a trainer? How do I talk to, you know, and I'm like, we're still people. Like, we all put our pants on the same way. We all eat the same food. And just part of it is don't get psyched out by someone just because they're younger than you. In the same way for young people, don't get freaked out talking to people that are older than you. You know, that's the best thing about Isagenix, is that we have solutions for everyone, you know, and so many different things. But I'll definitely piggyback on the fact that, you know, I think Sanj did a great job of asking a ton of questions. And sometimes you have time to have a longer chat with someone, and sometimes you don't. You know, sometimes it's a brief moment. But I always love to compliment people and tell them, you know, why I want to share them something, and then be able to follow up. But it's really getting to a lot of the things that Sanj was saying about the freedom, you know, about the lifestyle. But sometimes it's, you know, I like to not always go like, here's your, you know, corporate degree, 9 to 5, work for 40 years, all the way to like freedom style with Isagenix, but to talk to them about those stepping stones and be really relatable. So, you know, if you're asking questions like, are you in school right now? You know, what are you studying? You know, do you mind me asking, like, are you on scholarships? Are you on student loans? You know, trying to figure that out. I came out of college with 2 bachelors and 2 masters with nearly $70,000 in student loans, making less than 30 grand a year. I mean, you guys can see how upside down that was. I mean, I would never, ever, ever have, you know, gotten ahead of that. And so asking them questions and just saying, you know, if there was a way that in the pockets of your time, you know, in the pockets of you studying and going to class and everything, to be able to get incredibly healthy, incredibly fit, you know, and earn residual income, supplemental income, that becomes an income producing asset. It's going to just grow the whole time that you're in university, the whole time that you're in school. so that by the time you graduate and you have an entry level, salary, there's something supplementing that, something that can help you pay off those loans, something that can help you, have the lifestyle that you want. And sometimes it's just, painting that picture for them that I relate. And I say, when I was in school, I was working, 20, 30 hours a week, bartending, waiting tables, trying to make ends meet. And it was hard because it was late nights and then early mornings at class. And say, I would have loved to have had this opportunity where, during the middle of the day or, the afternoon, not 2 in the morning, I could be doing what I love, which is helping people and still generating that income and being kind of, relatable. And definitely, I talk to young people all the time, and there was actually a girl I just met. This is a true story. I went and got a spray tan, and I just thought she was great. And I said, oh my gosh, I was like, I adore you. I know everything about you. And I said, this might sound really strange, but if you're not doing spray tans, I said, because my hunch is that you exchange time for money, and I used to live that way. Is there a way that you're making money? And she said, no. And I said, I think you're fabulous. You have great customer service. You're the exact type of person I'm looking for. Would you be willing to chat, go to coffee or lunch so I can get to know more about you and see if you're interested in what I do? When we went to lunch, I asked all those questions that Sanj was saying, and I say, is this what you thought you'd be doing? How old are you? When you were 15, did you say at 28, I'm going to be doing spray tans, for $10 an hour type of thing? And I just started to ask her those exact questions, and come to find out she has all this family in Australia and she wants to travel over there. And I said, we're the #1 network marketing company over there. And I said, so if there was a way that with Wi-Fi and a cell phone, you could travel to Australia and generate the same income, does that excite you? And it doesn't mean all young people are going to be the next Isagenix millionaire. I mean, it's possible, right? But young people are not making astronomical incomes. They're not making 6-figure incomes. They're making 30, 40, 50 a year. And that's still possible with Isagenix through our rank advancement bonuses and PIBs and cycles. And it's really just breaking that down for them. So I think that the last thing I would just say that Sanj said that's great is be a master story collector. Your life at 50 or 60 or 45 might not resemble someone who's 18 or 20 or 25, but what it used to be like, but you can find someone that they relate to. It's another reason to go to an event because you can say, oh my gosh, you remind me of my friend Emily, or oh my gosh, you remind me so much of my friend Rachel, or you remind me so much of my friend CG that used to be a bartender. And just to be able to have people's stories on hand, because the same way that I don't relate to moms, right? I don't have kids. I don't really know what that's like. I can, think about the women in enterprising, the video in enterprising women and say, oh my gosh, you remind me so much of my friend Cindy, or you know what? You remind me so much of my mom. I'd love to share what she's been doing, and just putting like-minded people in the boat. And then of course, a 3-way call. That is the glue of this business. And so after you connect with them, get them on the phone with someone that's going to use the same slang, that's going to talk their same pace, that they really kind of jive with. And I'll give you an example that yesterday I did a 3-way call with my friend Laura, who I think's on the phone, she's probably 20 years older than the girl she prospected. And she was a waitress and she thought she was spunky and she cast the vision for her. We did a 3-way call and she enrolled last night. So, after you make that connection, just put them on the phone with someone that they absolutely can kind of see eye to eye with.
I love that. That is lots of great tangible tips. Thank you so much. So the next question is, sorry if we're not all muted here. So the next question is going to be from Lori Brin, and we're going to go ahead. Lauren, you can go ahead and take this one first, but definitely we'd love to hear from both of you on it. Lori, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm having technical difficulties too. My camera decided to stop working.
So we can hear you. You're good.
Okay, so I'm Lori Brown. I'm in Spokane, and thank you guys for being on this call. I just love your wisdom. I'm in my 50s as well, so I'm in the primetime group. So I love hearing what you guys are saying about reaching out to the START demographic. So my question is, what's the best solution to lead with when you're talking to someone in the START demographic? Is it product or opportunity?
So that's really good too. I personally don't think there's one or the other. I'm a big person that Isagenix has health solutions and wealth solutions, and I always share both. But I think that which one you're leading with has to do with where you met them and what's happening in that conversation. So I am never the person that's going to decide who wants to do this business and who doesn't. So if I'm leading with the product, I still at the end talk to them about accountability partners, or I talk to them about who else, has health goals, or who else that maybe they would want to, refer or to be on this journey with. And at the same point, if I'm leading with the business, because I really, really want to protect that Isagenix is a legacy company, you know, and that we're a product focused company, that I always immediately, you know, as soon as I cast this vision, go back to the fact that it starts with, you know, eating our incredible nutrition, feeling good, feeling amazing, you know, being a product of the product, and just to debunk anything weird that this is a, you know, get quick rich scheme, and that it has to do with the fact that we have such amazing nutrition. But I think it's all about being authentic, and it has to do with, you know, having integrity. So if we're out, which happens a lot, you guys, in taking Lyft or Uber to be safe, and I start asking questions, you know, I'm like, hi, Rachel, you know, like, thanks for picking us up tonight. And I'll say something like, how long have you been driving for Lyft? And she's like, oh, a couple months or something. I'm like, do you like it? And she's like, it's okay. You know, I mean, this is really typical. And I said, well, what made you decide to do this? And she'll say, oh, because I'm just trying to make extra income. Like, I'd like to have more spending money, or I'm saving up to go on vacation with my family. And if I say something like, so if there was a way that you could earn the same supplemental income without having to drive drunk people around in the middle of the night, is that something that would excite you? And she said, yes. When I follow up with her, I'm going to lead with the opportunity, because that's what I shared with her. We talked about replacing an income from one part-time job to another. So I might text her or something and say, hey, Rachel, it's Lauren. I said, do you remember me from Saturday night in the Lyft? And she'll say back, and I said, I really want to chat with you. You know, I wanted to talk to you about finding a way to earn that same income without having to rack up all those miles on your car. And she's like, yeah, I can't wait to meet. And I'll say, okay, hey, watch this video real quick, and then I'll call you in about 10 minutes or something. I'm sending Start Your Life. I mean, I'm sending that one. I like the one that has the hat, like a boss hat is how it starts. I mean, that's my favorite one, or, you know, which really has more to do with the vision. However, the conversation may be totally different. Like if I'm at the locker room at the gym, right? This happens a lot. That I'll see someone drinking a Monster, I'll see someone with a Red Bull, or I'll see someone grab a Muscle Milk, and I'll start asking questions. I'm like, hi, I see you in here all the time, you know, and I said, I love, you know, people that work out really hard. I love people that work really hard to their goals. And I'll say, you know, how long have you been doing Red Bull? Or do you feel like you need Red Bull to get through your workout? And they're like, oh my gosh, I have to, like, I need the energy. I need the pick me up. And then I relate, you know, and I say, I remember those days that I felt like I had to have an IV of caffeine to come in here. You know, if you're at all curious, I'd love to share with you the nutrition that's really improved my workouts without all that harmful chemicals in it. And if they're like, yeah, I'd love to know more, then by the time I follow up with them, I'm going to share like Mary Evans Just Cleanse, or Are You Toxic, or Team Isagenix, or one of those videos that has more to do with the product, because our conversation had to do with the product. So I don't necessarily have a favorite. It's more just whatever struck up the conversation. However, if I lead with the products, I will always share how to get their products paid for. And if I lead with the business, I will always highlight that we're a product-driven company, and it's really important to be a product of the product.
That's awesome, Lauren. Thank you. Sanj, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, great. I mean, Lauren nailed it, the answer. Great question, Lori. That's a wonderful question. And Lauren, it's great meeting you. I heard so many wonderful things about you, and can't wait to meet you. But yeah, you know, basically, like, it all depends on what they want, right? We can't decide for them what solution to lead with. So like Lauren mentioned, just become a connector, become a master connector, ask a lot of questions, and find out what they want, right? Then you can lead with the solution and really become familiar with the solutions that we offer, right? It's not hard to really know. We use the products. We know what this platform can do for people. So really become a master connector. Ask a lot of questions. That way, you know what solution you can lead with. You know, maybe perhaps they have a pain in their lives that one of our solution can help them have a breakthrough in, right? So there you go. That's a solution that you can lead with. So, you know, that's when you should really relax, guys. We get all like worked up about sharing Isagenix, and we get all anxiety. You have the gift. You have the gift. Just chill, ask the right questions, be excited about it, right? Because this is exciting. I'm the most excited when I'm able to talk to people, do this business, share this, because, you know, this is really life-changing. So when you ask the right questions, you'll really know how to lead with the right solutions. So that was a great question, Lori. Thank you for asking that question. And Lauren, great job.
That's awesome, Sanj. I love that your advice is just chill. You guys just chill. You know, and Lauren, I love how you said, like, people are people, whether you're 18 or 85, you know, whether you're Audrey Moss or Jimmy Smith, like, they're eating the same products, they're using the same comp plan. Jimmy Smith's just knocking it out of the park, but, you know, that's Jimmy style. So, all right, next question is going to be for Sanj, and this is going to be from Tierney Stewart. Are you with us, Tierney?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, girl.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So me and this guy here have 4 kids, all under the age of 9. So my question is, how do you balance building a massive business and time with your family, especially in those early stages of building?
Great question, Tierney. Are you guys both building this business together? Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's the best way to do it, and that's great. So, are you both working now, or are you doing
I
this?
stay home.
Okay.
And he works. Yeah.
Okay, you work full time. What's your name, bro?
Yep, full time.
What's your name? Sorry.
Julian.
Julian.
I have a full time job and then 2 part time jobs also, and then
Wow.
I try and do Isagenix on top of that.
Sure. And then you're a stay-at-home mom, Tierney, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, great. So, one of the most important thing is obviously, you have to treat this like a business, right?
Right.
You have to create a structure and somewhat of a discipline around it. One of the, you're not going to be perfect at the beginning, allow yourself to be a disaster. Really, I want to be honest with you guys, because I built this business with my wife. And, if you're trying to be perfect, especially at the beginning and not make any mistakes, you're going to get frustrated, right? Just have a lot of fun with it. Allow each other to grow on their own, support each other, encourage each other, and just be very positive about growing this business, number one. And, just know that you're not going to be perfect at the beginning, but what you have to really start doing is making time to do this business, right? You can't really do it, juggling around and without having a structure. So time blocking is so important, right? And whatever you can start with, I mean, if it's just half an hour, you want to just time block and just have that peace without your kids, without anybody around you, so you can focus, look at your list, contact people, follow up. And trust me, this is a new habit that you're building. So, it's going to take some repetition, right? You're going to have to force yourself. You're going to have to really, hold yourself accountable, hold each other accountable, and really commit to it, right? So it's baby steps.
Right.
Guys. Just take baby steps. You have, you can go to the top in this company and in this business, no doubt. Especially when you're doing it as a couple. Just manage your emotions at the beginning. Just be okay with making mistakes. Learn from it. Talk to your mentors, reach out for help, don't let your ego get in the way. And there's no right or wrong way to do this business. It's just continuous action, keep believing, and have faith in each other, and just do something every day, right? If you improve 1% every day, in a year, you guys are going to be, imagine next year at this time where you can be with your business, right? So be intentional about creating that structure in your business. Treat it like a business. Have an office space that's very important in your house, right? A corner where you have a desk and a computer, whatever you need. That's why I'm sitting in our office. This is my office space. The kids can't come here. This is where I come to do the call. It's very important, right? I mean, she would be all over. My kids would be all over crawling. I have 2 daughters, but I have to treat this like a business. This is what feeds them, right? So I have to give it the respect that it deserves. And why are you guys doing Isagenix? Quick question. What's your big why? Just like in a short few words.
We want to be a full-time family, bring him home to be with us. So
absolutely, guys. That's everything. That is everything. That's the ultimate freedom you could give yourself and your family. So that type of why, if you want to call it, deserves you have to treat the business like a real business, right? So
right.
Create structure, ask for help, ask for help with whatever you need from your upline, your team. I'm sure they will be able to help you. Show up to team calls. Don't miss the team calls, whatever, no matter what you're going on in your family. I know it can get chaotic sometimes with kids. I don't know how you guys do it with 4 kids. You guys are rock stars, okay? Number one. But on top of that, if you both can make it, like Chelsea's, I don't know if she's on this call, but I know she was trying to put the baby to sleep, but I'm on this call. Like, I'm here. Like, one of you have to show up if both of you can't come, right? So play that role. Like, I'm going up to Toronto tomorrow for an Isagenix event. My wife is here. She's holding down the fort. And then she's going into an event on March. So we really work it out. So have that passion and, just keep growing. You guys are going to do it, man. I can tell you guys have that fire in your eye. Just create that structure. Your mentors can really help you a lot. And if you want to Facebook me, and, I'd love to talk to you guys about how we have a one-on-one call with you about how we struggled through a lot as a couple building this business. And after 3 years, I'm like, wow, we've grown a lot. So I want to be able to, teach you guys what we went through, and some of them may help you, right? So Just make that time, start by small, maybe it's half an hour, 1 hour time block for each other, and give each other that space. Like, you can spot each other when the other one is working, and you guys will come together. Trust me, and don't give up. If you don't see results, doesn't matter. Just keep going, keep doing it every day.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, Sanj means it. Tierney, I know I can count on you. Message him, because I reached out. I forgot to tell you guys how I even met Sanj, but I reached out because we wanted advice on how do you build this together. Because Jeff and I were just in the baby stages of that, and Sanj and Chelsea got on a Skype with us and really walked us through their journey and how it worked, and it was so valuable. So he means it, you guys. So Tierney and Julian, you guys get on Facebook with him and make that process.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And Sanj, you're going to see this couple on stage. They're amazing. In fact, Julian has a great question for you later on in the call for sure. So this next question is going to be for Lauren, and it's from our very own Amanda Pike. Amanda, are you with us?
I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Amanda, go ahead.
Awesome. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Sanj. My name's Amanda. I'm from Seattle. I am 30 years old, so right in that start group. Yeah, my question is, I'm still working in corporate America. I have actually a really successful marketing career, and I've been in the industry for about 10 years, really building my way. And I'm wondering, how do you balance your job, especially if it's like an actual career that is pretty demanding? I'm finding that it's mentally taking everything I can to like really do good at this career, and also I can't afford to just quit my job and do Isagenix full time, although that's what I would love to be doing. And so I feel a lot of pressure to really perform very well in my regular career, but also this passion to really be building my Isagenix business. And I'm finding it difficult to put the mental and physical kind of passion and time into both. And so I'm wondering if you have any advice on that.
Hi, Amanda. I think that's a great question, and I hope that Sanj's. We're going to overlap here, because I think we're both talking about time blocking, even though his was more juggling the time with the family and the time with the work. One of the biggest things, Amanda, that I think holds people back when they are trying to build Isagenix and they still have a full-time job is working on your entrepreneur mindset and not your employee mindset. So when you're an employee, like there's certain expectations that you have to get things done. There's to do that. I mean, there's just time you have to be there, or whatever quotas you have to meet, or projects that have to be completed. And if not, you're going to get fired. And with Isagenix, because we are all volunteering our time, and your leaders are leading, a volunteer army, that it's hard sometimes for people to hold themselves accountable, because even though we talk about connecting with 3 people a day and following up with 3 people a day and going for 2 enrollments a week or 5 enrollments a month, no one's fired. Like no one's able to get fired. It's not like, a sales job. If you don't cold call 20 people that you're getting let go. And so sometimes I think finding people that are self-disciplined or self-motivated, it has to do with that entrepreneur mindset that you're the CEO of your business. And the minute you stepped in to build this, not being holding the people above you responsible and not looking at people down to build this for you, but saying, okay, like if this is something I really want and I want to be able to leave my job, or I want to make $1,000 a week or $1,000 a month, or whatever anyone here is going for, that you're the one responsible for that, in the same way that I was talking to a girl recently who is really obsessed with her fitness, and she had a really hard work, family things were going on, and she gave me every reason in the world why she couldn't build her Isagenix business, why she wasn't able to call people or follow up with people. And I asked her, I said, did you go to the gym this week? And she said, yes. I said, did you go more than once? And she said, yes. And she went her 5 days a week. And I said, you went because that was important to you. There was some value that you still saw that. And I said, your Isagenix business right now is just not that important to you, because if it was, you could have figured out kind of a way. And I think once you kind of master that entrepreneur mindset, and once you make that decision that it's up to you, that no one can do this for you, and really deciding how bad do you want it, part of you is giving yourself the permission to trust the process. I really believe in the compound effect, and that in the very beginning, you're going to be incredibly underpaid for the work that you do. You're going to exhaust a lot of time and be like, oh my gosh, I just did all of that for $54 or something. But as the journey goes on, it switches, but all of a sudden you're really overpaid for those same tasks, when you're putting in less time and earning more. But people quit or they stop kind of before it gets to that point. But really, to piggyback what Sanj is saying, in that journey, in that process, it's so time blocking and being really, really, really disciplined with your time. So Amanda, when I first built my Isagenix business, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. I was working 4 to 6 jobs a day from like 4 or 5 a.m. till midnight every single day, holidays, weekends. I mean, I was bartending, waiting tables, personal training. I worked in a doctor's office. I was a nutritionist. So when you're asking someone like, how did someone build this? And I remember when Janie first called me and I was so excited about the opportunity and I said, I have no time. I was like, lady, you don't get it. Like, I have no time. And she said, how would you like to never have to feel that again? And that struck a chord in me like no other, that I was like, okay, if I don't do this, it's never, ever, ever going to change. And I remember just looking at my schedule, like really with a magnifying glass and saying, okay, what am I willing to give up? What can I change? And the first thing I decided to do, Amanda, is the doctor's office closed from 1 to 2 every day, and I booked 4 15-minute appointments. I mean, I would stay up late, private messaging people or text messaging people early in the morning, and I would book these appointments, and I would sit in my car, rain, snow, sun, whatever it was, and I would do 4 15-minute calls, like trying to enroll people and like share the opportunity. And as I started to make pivots and I started to grow my business, I was able to like give up some of those part-time jobs. I started like not having to, always work on Saturdays or not having to run boot camp classes, and I had more time. But the biggest decision, and it's really hard, I think, in the beginning when you're not really making that much necessarily and you're already burnt out, but it's being really clear on your why, short-term why, as you progress to your long-term why, and saying, what are the short-term sacrifices I'm willing to make for the long-term rewards? And that's got to be in the forefront of your mind. That's something you've got to see every single day. And I remember my first 90-day action plan and filling out, like, what are the distractions that you're willing to give up, right? What are some of the things that are holding you back? And like fantasy football was one of them. Like, I love fantasy football and I was really good at it, but I was like, this takes a lot of time, and a lot of it's on Sundays, which is when our back office closes. I'm not going to play fantasy football. And, I wanted this so bad. There was things I missed. I remember the night I was going for Crystal Director, and I have 4 consultants and 2 pirates, and I'd kind of been working throughout the day, and I was like, I just don't think this is going to happen. And Jenny checked in on me, and she was like, how's it going? What's in the works? And I remember texting her and just saying, like, I don't think it's going to happen. Like, people aren't calling me back, and I'm supposed to go to this girl's birthday party for sushi. And with love, Jenny said, go to sushi in 2 years. She's like, you've got $1,150 on the table. She was like, get to work. And she was talking about, for the new consultants I was creating, that $750 bonus. And she just knew my story. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, that girl's going to understand if I don't go to sushi. I can celebrate with her belated, but right now I have to do this. And it was really, Amanda, when you're so tired and you're so exhausted and you're like, oh, like, I just don't have it in me. But that time blocking is key. My sister was the director of a mental health department here for years, working 60 to 80 hours a week. And she sounded just like you. And I would say, don't try and do Isagenix every day. Don't be at work and try and do Isagenix. Don't try and do Isagenix and be at work. But where can you give it 1 hour of 100%? Where can you give it 2 or 3 hours, 100%, where you're just laser focused, And the last thing I would just say is, if you really have limited time, use your time to be producing and not be busy. There's a lot of people, and I've looked at their schedule, and they really do only have like 5 hours to do Isagenix. That's not when you're listening to podcasts. You can't be getting on team calls. Do that when you're at the gym or driving, or fill that in, when you're getting ready or cooking. But if you have the pockets of your time, you need to have a list and a phone and just get to work.
That's awesome, Lauren. Thank you so much. Amanda, if you are unmuted, you can go ahead and respond to that if you want to. I want to give you a chance to.
Yeah, I think it's helpful. I think it's more the intangible. Like, if you have a job where you have to really be like creative and on and mentally there, and how do you mentally, spiritually, whatever you want to say, like, be all in 100% at your job and like have those creative juices flowing, because you need to keep that job because it's paying your bills right now. But then also like have that fire, like you said, in those other wee hours of the day to really be on top of it and have that extra energy for your business and for the people that you're helping.
Yeah, I'll say one more thing, and then Sanj, I actually want to invite you to like hop in, because I can see you're like probably have something that he kind of wants to say, even though I know this was directed at me. But I think like when you're at work, do work. I think a lot of people are trying to like do their job, but they're on Facebook Message or they're cleanse coaching or they're texting people. Like, when you're at work, do work. But the same way, if I was like working at Target for a job, I wouldn't be at Target and bartending. right? I would be doing my Target job. And as soon as I clocked out and then I went and checked in at the restaurant that I'd be bartending, I would be wearing my bartending hat. And that's what I would be doing. And sometimes it's just isolating that. Like when you're at your job, you're there. And then when you leave or when you set your business hours for Isagenix, treating it like a business, like treating it like you have a part-time job, you know, and whatever that is, and doing your income producing activities. But the other is if you're feeling like you're burnt out, what are the things that fill your cup? I mean, we all need some R&R, but like Sanj opened up this call with gratitude. I mean, when you are really grateful for everything that's happening in your life, it's switched from an exhausted, I have to do this, to a fired up, I get to do this. You know, and just being really clear that Isagenix is not work, you know, it's fun and you have this gift and you're creating freedom and you're helping all these people. And just, you know, giving yourself some time off. I mean, don't work around the clock all the time if you're feeling like you're burnt out, but do like your hardest things first thing in the morning when you have the most energy, and then do things towards the end of the day or on your day off that really, really, really just fill your cup. And just remember that it's short term. The grind like this will not be forever. It's, you know, getting into momentum and getting that plane off the runway, like Eric Worre says. And then once it's there, it's a lot easier, you know, but it's just in the beginning saying, okay, what am I going to do that 96% of people are not going to do, you guys? 85 to 90% of all Isagenix's product users. And then of that 10%, most are making less than like $1,000 a year. I mean, it's like really a small percentage of people that are building a substantial income. And if that's something you want, it's every day saying, what am I going to do that 90% of others are not going to do?
Awesome. I love it. Thank you. That was helpful.
That's awesome, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
All right, you guys, I have so many notes and we have like 3 questions left. So I got to find another piece of paper, but this next question I'm going to ask, and it's for both Lauren and Sanj. Sanj, I'm going to have you go ahead and answer first, but how has the START movement and community specifically really impacted your business and played a role in your success?
For sure. Great question, Rachel. You know, the start group really was coming into its own when we started in Isagenix about 3.5, almost 4 years ago. That's when Eric really stepped in and created the vision for START and really, you know, draw out for young people what's possible, right? And it was just amazing to see that happening and all these young people coming in. But here, guys, I'll let you in on something. I am out of the START group. I'm actually 40 years old, okay? The reason I'm in the START group is because my wife is 10 years younger than me. And we do the business together. We have a joint account, so we recognize in the START group. But here's what I'm most excited about. I'm so excited to share the vision of START with young people. Guys, there's nothing out there like what this company and this platform can deliver to young people to lead an extraordinary life. Guys, I think, like, honestly, I'll be truthful and say, I think in North America, like, we take network marketing for granted. This is a golden opportunity, guys. In so many world, people are struggling to have any type of freedom that, you know, even in westernized countries, that there's these opportunities aren't available. We are so lucky to have this platform. And for me, it just excites me to like really teach young people. I mean, I spent almost 9 years in the corporate world. I was a traditional business owner for 7 years. So I've seen both sides of the coin of being an employee for someone and also running my own brick and mortar business. And guys, I don't know, my opinion, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun. There was no freedom. Life became dull. I wasn't fulfilled. And I really, in my heart, like felt like there was so much more to life than struggling and going through life and paying bill and dying. You know, life is all about creating amazing, loving experiences. And, you know, we have to really think outside the box. And for me, I'm just super excited to really share with young people and cast a vision that Isagenix has created already, the START vision, right? I mean, I read it all the time. And if you just get in front of young people, make a really good connection and just read that vision. Hey, I'm a part of this amazing community that are driven. This is our vision. Are you open to having a look? You know, would you be excited to be a part of this? Right? Asking the question, because I'll tell you right now, every young person out there, you know, most young people that are graduating school, they're confused. They're scared. It's the truth, right? They're graduating with a debt, a degree, and, you know, they're going out into the workforce, and the workforce is changing so drastically, and they're not able to find jobs not only to fulfill their day-to-day living, but let alone pay back their student loan. They're in a lot of pain, guys, I'm telling you. So when you spark up conversation, when you get deep, when you make a connection, when you start asking people, they'll tell you this. And that's when you can really show them, hey, listen, this is the movement. This is why young people are fired up about this. This is why Start Movement is growing so fast. This is why we need to get out there, share this with as many people as possible in the correct way, because this is about changing lives, right? For me, it's become about, yes, we have great products. Yes, the shakes are great. I just had one. The products are amazing, guys, right? We know that already, but there's something bigger, something much more bigger that young people really, really, really want. We know this, right? So let's not hide it. Let's not be ashamed of it. Let's be proud of network marketing. Let's be proud. Be like, give yourself a round of applause tonight for saying yes to this opportunity, because you're an amazing individual. You're a light, right? You're going to impact thousands of lives because you said yes. You're not, even you might have been scared. You still said yes. What a courage, right? And so there's a lot of young people out there. They're going through the same thing. The same wind is blowing on all of us, right? So that's why looking at that, for me, it excited me already. Even though I was out of the Start Movement, I was like, man, I never had this opportunity when I was young. Nobody shared with this, when I was 19, 20. I went through all my 20s being stuck in the corporate world. Not, it wasn't a fun part of my life. I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. I felt like I wasn't paid what I was worth. I wanted to take more than 2 weeks of vacation a year. So I became really frustrated in that world. But I built the courage to leave that, and I jumped into traditional business. And there I found things that wasn't conducive to a happy life, right? So, man, there's got to be something else out there. What is it? And my prayers, guys, is what brought Isagenix to my doorstep. It was the answer for me and my family to really change the way I was living. The path I was headed down was destructive, guys, in many different ways. It was becoming destructive for my relationship, and I saw it happening, and I needed to stop it. And the Start vision was what gave me the vision for me and my family to say no to my old life. It was somebody else's thinking. It was somebody else's ways. I had to say no. And this community, there's so much support, so much growth, so much, it grew me as a person more than anything. So I know that the same gift, I can give this to a young person, right? So that's why I'm really excited to, share this vision with as many. It doesn't matter if I'm 40, 50, 60 years old. I'm going to tell young people, hey, listen, look at, have a look at this. You got gold here, right? And they'll get it, guys. They'll get it. Young people aren't dumb anymore. They're smart. You millennials are super smart. You just need the vehicle. This is the vehicle. Take it and run.
Amen. You guys, that's the first time I've ever heard Sanj yell. That was Sanj yelling right there at the end. That's passion. I love it. Lauren, yeah, jump in and share.
Sanj, you're like the best cheerleader ever. You're like a male Cindy Hedges. She's like, good job. You can do this. I'm like, it's so fun to have like a soft blue on this call. So I think in so many ways, Rachel, that's such a huge question, but part of it has to do with, I was first excited about something I was partnering with. I remember when you think about where you are in your belief scale with the products, the company, the industry, I was really low on the industry. I had never done network marketing before, but I just knew all the horror stories. I'd seen so many people get into the wrong company or, everything we'd ever heard, seen happen. And so I really, really struggled with that. And I was not wanting to tell people that I was a network marketer. I was not wanting to tell people that I was in a pyramid scheme, an MLM. That was kind of the noise in my head. And it was really meeting Eric and seeing the Start vision and seeing myself like-minded with people. And it really built my belief, because where I'd always kind of judged it, and in my head, not true at all, thought it was people that were lazy, people that wanted to get quick rich thing, that we didn't really have a legitimate business model, or they weren't educated because it didn't require any skill to do, there was all these things. And it was where I really started to build my belief. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's incredibly skilled and talented people doing this. And it got me really excited about what I was a part of and what I wanted other people to be a part of. I remember Eric first telling me when I very first met him, Isagenix brings out the best in people. And I was like, what? I was like so hokey, And then I started seeing it, whether it was the product or the money or the culture or the personal development. And I would tell people, I'm like, you're going to be a part of something that brings out the best in you. Like, you don't even know the best version of yourself yet. And you're going to look back. And be like, oh my gosh, this is because of that. And it was really, I mean, his voice and his culture that he's created this, but it was also everything that I saw happening with the integrity of our mission statement, of our vision. You know, when we talk about contribution, and all of a sudden there was like, you know, the Global Give Back Day. And I was like, wait, what? Like, we're really doing this? And it was seeing hundreds, thousands of people all around the globe putting together, events that we were, you know, giving food to the homeless or serving at food banks or whatever it may be. And I was like, the people in Australia and New Zealand were doing the same thing as we were doing in Colorado and Arizona. And I was like, that is something that people are excited about. I mean, Gen Y and millennials do want to give back. They do want to volunteer. They do believe in contribution and service and all of that. And then seeing that it was a legacy company. I mean, I've only been with Isagenix for 3 years, and I've seen Eric mature. I've seen Eric grow. I've seen, you know, so many things. But like, even just the perfect example of that, you know, crazy Dr. Oz show the other day, but his response in isagenixbusiness.com, you know, and him writing, like, what you focus on, you find. And he's like, let's get excited about, you know, the products were up, people lost weight. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the legacy of our company. Like, that excites me. That's all about what this is, and being able to share that with people. But there's so many things that I can talk about Start and what it's done for my business. But it really is surrounding yourself with like-minded people, a positive place, you know, all the tools that are there, but really just seeing that we are ambassadors for this profession. We're not the ones telling people to drop out of school. We're not telling people, you know what I mean, like slimy ways to do this. It's about integrity. We want people to do the work. And if you look at some of the young leaders in this company, if you look at Emily Baver, if you look at, you know, when Chris and Lori were in Start Still, and Kelly Dickerhoof and Daniel Thompson, and you're looking at these people that, you know, not necessarily faith-based, even though that's important to me, but looking at the work that they've done, the personal development that they've done, and what that has done for other people. And that's just something we're a part of. And it's like success leaves clues. I'm like, okay, they didn't get to be millionaire status, you know what I mean, without doing this work, without becoming the best version of themselves, without helping a ton of people, without giving back. And it's all of that really, really excited me.
That's awesome, Lauren. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lauren and Sanj. Everything you're saying about the Start movement. I know that so many people who are on this call right now, that Start wasn't around when they started Isagenix. And so this is something that they're growing with too, and kind of watching how it's all coming to fruition. And it's really, really exciting to watch. You guys, I agree completely. Okay, so that wraps up our Start panel questions, but I am really excited because Sanj and Lauren have agreed to give us some bonus information because they both happen to really be passionate about fitness. Sanj is a part of Team Isagenix, and Lauren, like she shared, used to be like a fitness trainer, nutritionist. Like, we have some exceptional experience here on this call, and they both agreed to answer one more question each that has to do more with the fitness side of things. Because another thing that a lot of people will ask is, how do I talk to a fitness professional? How do I talk to a bodybuilder? How do I talk to these people and I have nothing in common with them? And even though we now know that people are just people, more specifically, they're going to be able to give you some tools and some experience. And so the first question is for you, Sanj, and this is going to be from Julian. So I know his name says Tyranny, but that is Julian.
Definitely not Tyranny.
Julian, go
All
ahead.
right. So my question is, I've been running into a lot of people. It seems like every other day you're running into somebody who's in prep mode for a show, whether it's like fitness, figure competitions, or bodybuilding. So my question was, how do you incorporate the products when you're in prep mode for a show? And so as far as like what products, nutritional timing and stuff like that, because sometimes they're like, they seem to think that they can't take these products until after they're done with their prep or after the show. But I've heard of a lot of people using these all the way up until, you know, the time of the show. So how do you incorporate that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, a lot of fitness competitors, when it comes down just talking to fitness competitors or someone who's in prep mode, you know, they have a lot of philosophy around, you know, how they do things, right? And a lot of them are influenced by their trainers, and a lot of them, you know, are very they have a tunnel vision with their nutrition and what they have to do. So when you kind of go and tell them, hey, you know what, take a look at this or do this, they're kind of like sometimes closed off. But what you want to focus on, you know, at the beginning, you know, just focusing on making a connection first. You know, you're not going to just walk up to somebody and start talking about Isagenix or start selling Isagenix, right? So you want to kind of create a very genuine connection. And there's a lot of different ways fitness competitors and trainers would use Isagenix in their plan, right? Depending on the person's need. It all comes down to what the person's goal is. Everybody has a different goal. Everybody has a different need. But what I know is Isagenix can meet people exactly where they need to be in order to help them prep. Based on the connection, you can really genuinely tell them some stories, success stories within the Isagenix community of fitness competitors who have used the product and done really well on stage in a very healthy way. So you want to kind of spend some time, learning that in the process, meeting some people, go to some events, are you going to Celebration? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so go and meet a lot of Team Isagenix members, get to know them. That way you have some ammos, right? You have some resources. I mean, you're going to do Isagenix for life. So start meeting some really good people and making some great connection, because you're going to help them. They're going to help you. And based on your connection, just be gentle with them too, because, fitness competitors, sometimes they can kind of like be brash, right, with their thing. And be gentle with them, create that connection. And get them on a 3-way call. If they're open to hearing more, what you could tell them is, hey, listen, I know a few fitness competitors in my community that have used these products and done prep in a very healthy way. And there's a lot of story. And, they found that this has helped them come off doing the show in a very healthy fashion without, jumping into a lot of junk food or rebounding. A lot of fitness competitors after the show, man, they get very unhealthy really fast, right? And you can talk about that. It's a very common thing. And you can say, hey, that's a big problem that exists among fitness competitors after the show. It's really hard to find the motivation and find the proper nutrition to keep going. But I found that this system has helped a lot of people come off from the stage into a healthy lifestyle. Would that be something that's important to you? Jellyfish, wait for them to answer. Yes, right?
Yes.
So, and then once, now they're wanting, now they're like a little puppy wanting, right? So ask a lot of questions, focus on the connection. Don't try to prove Isagenix is better than what they're taking. That will offend them, right? Whether it is or not, that's a different subject. There's a lot of science and a lot of research on Isagenix, and you have that available to you through tools. Everything you need is available, but you want to get into a very genuine conversation, connect with them, and just tell them stories. There's Lori Harder to people on Kathy Savage, like Fitness America. I mean, there's countless people.
Put it down, please. Nicely.
So you could kind of share some stories, share the Team Isagenix video. There's a lot of cool, and based on the questions you're asking, the value that you're creating, then you can move forward and get get them on a call, 3-way call. I would really highly suggest that. Until you're really comfortable talking to them about products, ask somebody for help. Ask me. I'll be happy to get on a call with anybody, fitness competitors, because I can talk about the bigger vision of how they can use this platform to create freedom, not just use a show and be broke, right? At the end, and not have anything to show for, but they can actually use this, help people do a healthy prep and be ahead in their life, right? Get ahead of the curve, right? So there's a lot of benefits to it. So just focus on the connection. Just really get to know people, make friends. If you can't talk to them about Isagenix right away, if you feel uncomfortable, just don't go into it. Just focus on the connection. Give them a lot of love on social media. Send them an odd message. Take them out for coffee, and make it genuine. And then they'll be open then to listen, right? They won't have any different stuff. They'll be really open and listen to what you have to say.
Awesome.
James, that's
Thank you so
good.
much.
That's so good. You guys, I competed in figure more than once, and exactly what Sanj is saying, when you come off of that, I went from eating tilapia and asparagus 6 times a day for like 6 to 7 weeks to like anything in sight, right? Because I was like starving. That's not good. Like, I'm like, man, I wish I had Isagenix then. I love it. The best thing that Sanj said that I can tell you that I wish like I would have known then, kind of when I was prepping, or what to do with someone, or if they have a coach, is to don't try and say that it's superior. It's true. When people are in a show, they're like laser focused. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing everything my coach said. I did some of the most unhealthy things, and that was as a nutritionist, because I just trusted her so much. And I look back and I'm like, man, you would have done whatever you said. So if you do try and like one up them, it's not going to go well. But education is power. And as you start to build that relationship, and sharing, like if there's a way to get the same results with quality nutrition, like having them look, what are your products sweetened with and things like that. But the main reason why people in the fitness industry or that are competing are going to say they can't do Isagenix is the first thing they're going to look at is the shake. They're going to go to the carbs. They're going to look at the sugars, right? Right. That's the first thing they're going to do. So, okay, let's just say hypothetically they can't do a shake. I mean, a lot of prep coaches are moving away from the whole rice and turkey or chicken and yams diet to macros anyways, where if they're macros, they can figure out where that shake fills in. But let's just say they're old school and they look at it and they say it's too much. It's like, okay, that's great. Like Sandra's saying, then there's the opportunity. Or when you're talking about just overall health and overtraining, like when you're training for a show, you're overtraining. When you're breaking down muscle, you need a ton of antioxidants. I mean, we can talk about the product B. We can talk about our vitamins. We can talk about fish oil and how to get, the inflammation down and support our bodies with healthy levels of omegas, our greens, to be able to put good nutrition in your body. The skincare, I mean, there's so many things they can do. So even if they go, okay, well, your AMPS doesn't have stimulants and I need to have XYZ amount of caffeine, or your shakes have too much sugar. We have so many products. And if you can get them excited about the opportunity, they're going to figure out a way to do this. I mean, I definitely have enrolled people that were prepping, that were so afraid to do a shake, so afraid to do a bar. I'm like, you're already taking vitamins, buy our vitamins, you're already taking a pre-workout, take this or something. But the other, like Sam said, is we have a ton of athletes, and just once you build that relationship saying, will you just, would you be open to talking to someone who's also prepped or is prepping and see exactly what they did? Kathy Savage has prepped thousands of people. Then have you ever heard of Angelique Nori? She's like a 6-time cover model. Lori Harder, Aaron Harrison, Trevor Harrison, all of them are, fitness championships using Isagenix. That once you have that relationship, they definitely get excited about it. And especially if you can use someone's story of the way that they prepped and they rebounded in the weight, they were exhausted or something, to say if you could get the same results in a really healthy way, like people do get excited, but for sure build the relationship before you try to one-up them with Isagenix. Like they don't know what we know yet.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
Amen.
That was awesome.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Okay, so last question. Lauren and Sanj, are you guys okay for a couple more minutes? I know we went over. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Sure, let's do it.
Because you took too long to record this call.
I'm sorry, gosh. I'm getting a new computer like this week, I promise. Okay, so our last question is actually from Amanda again. This one's for Lauren. So Amanda, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, girl, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. I also am a bikini competitor, and I agree 100% with what Lauren and Sanj were saying, because I said no to Rachel for a year because I was in prep mode. And I said all of those exact same things. And what really hooked me is she posted a photo of Lori Harder on Oxygen magazine, because I knew Rachel wasn't a competitor, so I kind of ignored a lot of what she was saying. But when I saw a magazine that I respected with an athlete that I respected who looked how I wanted to look, that's when I really kind of started to low-key pay attention. I still said no for 6 months. But anyway, my question is, as a fitness professional, how do you deal with that pressure of being a product of the product and the physical part, because you're in that fitness industry? How do you deal with that?
Well, so part of it is understanding, again, Isagenix has a lot of solutions and all the things that Isagenix does, so I've seen some people that might have 10% body fat, right? They might have abs all day long and they look unhealthy, they're weathered, they're exhausted. They're not very strong, you know what I mean? They're not recovering from their workouts. They're sick all the time. There's a lot of ways to do that. And I mean, I tell my team this all the time, and I'll be really transparent, vulnerable with you guys. If I was waiting to be a complete product of the product with Isagenix, you guys, 10,000 people in my organization would not have benefited from Isagenix, because there's ways that you can share what this does and use other people's stories and still be a product of the product. So, I mean, I used to teach 17 group fitness classes in a week. Now I teach 2, so my level of activity has gone down. I do not have a weight loss story with Isagenix. I believe in the products. I know it. I use it. I don't. And if I was waiting for that, I would be really withholding this gift from so many other people, because I've seen the transformations. However, I don't ever feel out of integrity. I don't feel like I'm not a product of the product, because I'm in really good shape. I'm really strong, and I don't get sick. I have all kinds of energy. I don't depend on caffeine all day long like I used to. There's a lot of ways to do that. So just like when I have people on my team that say, I have been on it for XYZ and I haven't lost any weight. And I go through the checklist. I'm like, well, what's your skin like? What's your hair like? What's your mood like? What is the inches on your clothes like? And I kind of go through this. I think fitness professionals are the same way. And so if you're just looking at lean body mass, or you're just looking at the scale, we all know, and especially if you're a competitor, what you can look like for a cover photo shoot or what you can look like on stage during peak week, that is not a like lifestyle for anybody. I mean, there's some people, of course, that have better genetics than others. Most women are not sitting year round around 10% body fat. It's not healthy. You can't do it. And so looking at all the other ways that Isagenix is improving your fitness. And so, you know, being able to talk about how much stronger you are, you know, how much better you recover, how much more endurance you have. You know, I think like forever and ever and ever, I ran 10 and a half, 11-minute miles. If I went and ran a 5K, like 35 minutes. That was just what I did. We did a 5K today. We came back in under half an hour. I was like, whoa, way to be, Knox. You know, like there's just some things that you start to see in your body. But I think, again, that we're our hardest critics. We put the biggest judgment on ourselves. And I assure you, whatever you are comparing yourself to, because we just do that in the fitness industry, nobody else is. And when you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof about what Isagenix does for people, it's not up to us to decide what people are looking at. It's not necessarily up to us to be this perfect representation. It's just up to us to share the story and use a lot of other amazing stories and let it work the magic in their body, because every single one of us is different. Every single one of us was created different. We all have greatness inside of us. We're all beautiful the way that we are. And I mean, the Cougars are not expecting every single one of us to be cover models in order to share Isagenix. So if they're not expecting that, we shouldn't be expecting that.
Awesome. Good point. I think you're right. I think it's a transitioning from it's not about us, it's about them. And yeah, I think you're right. It's like you don't have to have a six-pack to inspire other people. And I have to remind myself of that.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, thank you so much for all these amazing questions. I have one little announcement for you because it's start related and it's super exciting and you want to get plugged in. But Lauren and Sanj, if you guys have any final thoughts, I'm going to share this one announcement and then you can have the floor for a minute. So tomorrow, Isagenix is hosting a Start Zoom. So this is going to be it's going to be an opportunity meeting for Start folks, and it's going to be with Zach and Eden Slobin. And I'm going to post the information in Empowered to Lead, but it is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time, correction. So 5 p.m. Pacific time, there is a Zoom link. And I will post all of that in Empowered to Lead. But this is a great opportunity for people who are not yet enrolled in Isagenix that are in that start group. So for all of you prime timers, especially that are like, how do I reach out to my start folks? Reach out and say, hey, there's a really neat opportunity tomorrow at whatever time is your time zone, 5 p.m. Pacific. I would love for you to check it out. Details will be in Empowered to Lead after the call is over. So Lauren and Sanj, do either of you have any like last thoughts or anything else before we sign off?
Yeah, for me, guys, we have gold, right? Hang in there. Don't compare yourself to anybody in this journey. You're on your special own journey. Run your own race. Put your blinders on. Do what you can every single day. Whatever your goal is. If you're like trying to lose 10 pounds, guys, get passionate about that. If you're trying to have more energy, get passionate about that, because these products deliver that. This community is very supportive, right? Compared to what people are faced with out there in today's world, with this community and with opportunity, we have gold. Never give up, guys. Never give up. If things get tough, you'll get tougher if you stick to it and have the grit. It's going to be worth it. I can tell you, Chelsea and I, we love this company and we love this industry. She came from fashion. I came from the traditional business world. We love network marketing. And guys, I'll be honest, we were both skeptics, scared. We didn't know if we can do this. We had the same feelings that everybody does. But I'll tell you what, I had so much pain in the corporate world. I had so much pain in the traditional business world that I wanted better for myself. I felt like I was worth more. My family was worth more. So I was willing to go through all my fears, all my doubts, all the people calling me out when I got started, people making fun of me, whatever it is, I kept going. But here's what I have experienced, guys. We don't have financial freedom yet. We're working on it, okay? And I know this company delivers that, right? Lauren Sims is proof of that. But what we have experienced, me and my wife, is complete freedom, guys. Last 2 years, we've been able to be full-time parents and supplement that with the Isagenix income. We made some changes to our lifestyles to facilitate that, but I've never been so happy in my life, in the sense of direction of my life, right? This is not about me. I'm telling you because this is a transformation. I'm not telling you to show off or boast, but I'm just telling you to hang in there because it's worth it. It's so worth it in the long run, and have that long-term vision right? So you don't get frustrated by the short-term failures, because we all have failures. Focus on your long-term vision. Just keep working, just keep keep moving forward and keep showing up, because it's going to be worth it 100%. And I love you guys. Hope to meet every one of you very soon.
Thank you so much, Sanj. All right, Lauren, I'll hand it off to you before we sign off.
Thank you so much, Sanj. You're so honest and open, and really, really just appreciate everything you said. I am learning as well. Rachel, you better get us this recording. You guys, the last thing I think I will just tell with you, I mean, Isagenix is amazing. You know, I mean, we said this over and over. My friend Erin Harrison calls it blue magic. Sandra's calling it gold. You know, Peter Kelly drew it as the best present ever. But I worked with a couple girls on Saturday, you know, and one of them just kept saying, like, what about this? And she was so convincing in her head that, you know, they were going to think that she was bugging them, you know, that she was selling something. And I said, what if you looked at this a different way? Like, what if that person's going to do somersaults because you just introduced them to the best thing on the planet? And I always ask people, like, you know, like, what if, you know, we say, what if I fail? What if people say no to me? You know, what if they return? What if they negatively? But what if you can have freedom? What if you can be the happiest you are? What if you can, you know, stop exchanging time for money? What if you can get out of debt? What if you can go on that vacation that you want? You know, what if of all those positives? And for me, I was at such rock bottom when Isagenix came on my lap. Like, I didn't have much more to fall from that point. So I was like, well, it can't get worse. But the best thing I ever did was just say yes. And the thing that has propelled me forward every single day was, number one, never wanting to go back. I mean, that's my intrinsic motivation. I don't ever want to exchange time for money again. I don't ever want to be in the red of my checking account. I don't want to work for $12.50 with 2 masters, you know? But on the flip side of that, things that really propel me forward is I literally can show you. I'm going to not make you dizzy, but I want to show you this. So can you guys see, like, that wall that has all those cards on it? Rachel, tell me you can
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, that is thank you notes from the team. And I sit in here when I work and I'm like, those are all the people's lives that Isagenix has blessed, you know, and they say, you know, my marriage is better, my finances are better, my fitness is better, you know, whatever that is. And I look at that and I'm going to get 20 no's every week like everybody else, but I'm looking for the yeses. I'm looking for the people that are ready. I'm looking for the people that want a different way, and don't be attached to the outcome. You're always going to get no's. You know, I get unfriended all the time on Facebook. You know, I get hung up on the phone, and it's okay, because there's someone out there that's going to say, you know what, Isagenix paid for Christmas this year, or, you know, we actually as teachers went on vacation during our summers off because we had this supplemental income, or we're healthier, we're more fit, or whatever that is. But just trust this process. And the times that you don't want to do it is when you should be doing it the most. You know, just stay really grounded on your why, who you're doing this for, what it's important to you, and then just ask yourself, how bad do you want it? And there's some times, you guys, I mean, I have been on the phone all day and I'll get a text at like 10:30 at night and they'll say, you know, can you do a 3-way call? And I don't have to do that. But I sit there and I think, what if Janet Elo did not call me? You know? And I'm like, yeah, I can. Let's call that person. If Kathy Cooper's doing calls at 10:30 at night, if Travis Garza and Travis Ogner are doing calls, we all should be doing calls. Like, how bad do you want it? They get up super early. I actually texted Kathy last night because I was excited about something that happened in the business. And she wrote me back around 11 o'clock. And I woke up this morning with an email because we're planning a trip to Phoenix at like 6 o'clock this morning, and she'd emailed me. I'm like, this woman does not sleep, you know? And if she's going to work that hard, like, all of us should be working that hard to make this the largest health and wellness company and impact that many people. So, Rach, thanks for hosting us. Cindy, I love you.
Yes.
Sandra, can't wait to meet you.
Thank you guys so much. And I know, Cindy, if you want to unmute and say thank you, I know that your heart is just bursting right now because you guys so much value. We're going to go ahead and sign off on the recording, and then you guys can give some love to Sanj and Lauren. But so if you're on the recording, we're so glad that you're with us. We're going to go ahead and stop. Thank you so much for being on the START panel.